Welcome to the Myrita Moment. I just wanted to come here for a second to talk about Diddy. That's why I'm only going to take a quick second. I don't have much to really report on. Just that today he went back, he appealed the bail, his bail being denied. Mhm. He went for his appeal for his bail review. And his lawyers came with a plea telling me he's not a flight risk. Um, they know that he deals with substance abuse. He's aware of that. He wants to get help for that. Um, he promises he's not going to talk to anybody, no women. He's not going near any women. Um, he pleaded because I think he wants to be on home arrest, right? So his cameras have he has a camera in every room anyway. And they said he would be 24/7 surveillance. He would have a security team watching his every move. He wouldn't go anywhere. He wouldn't have access to internet, no cell phone. He wouldn't be tampering with any witnesses. He was running down the whole gamut of what he would do if he were to be released on bail. And the judge was asking her questions and basically saying, well, I don't know. The prosecutor side basically are saying that he is a risk, he's a danger, and he's a flight risk. And the prosecution brought emails from witnesses that he had badgered. I mean, I guess they got him from his phone because remember they took all his wireless devices, and they were reading messages like, or there were even text messages saying, every time you get mad, but it sounded like it was from Cassie again. Like this whole thing, I think, is built around Cassie. Might be a few others sprinkled in there that may have had little run-ins with him, but him and Cassie were a couple. And her thing is like, every time you get mad, you spin me around like a rag doll. I'm someone's child. If you're having acquaintance or you're just having run-ins with um or just having escapades with someone because y'all are into the same type of kinky thing, you ain't gonna go there. That sounds like someone that thinks that you should care about them a little bit. It's coming across as it was girlfriend boyfriend talking, like I'm doing this for you because I know this is what you like, but you don't treat me right. That's what I got. So the lawyer was trying to say that their argument was filled with Cassie being jealous. I don't feel like that's a far stretch. Now, granted, it could have been about her being jealous. Could have been about her. Maybe he was paying more attention to whoever else was in the room. Maybe she felt some way about that. Substances, and when you're under the influence of other things, make you respond a little differently. Like maybe she's jealous, but maybe those whatever she was taking made her over more jealous, like her she was leaving or whatever. And his thing is, what you leaving for? And he has this bad temper. I'm not justifying his actions. Don't get me wrong. Violence is violence, and I don't condone it, especially against domestic violence. I don't DV. I don't condone that. That's not what I'm saying. However, it's not a far stretch with the lawyer coming out saying it was a couple dispute. Some women, and I'm not talking about Cassie in this instance, some women tend to think that, oh, he doesn't want me to leave. Oh, this is love. They equate certain actions, even though it's not healthy, with love. I have a family member who is with her partner and they battle all the time, fighting or whatever. She has disconfigured her hand, but she's still with her. And there ain't no money involved. They ain't billionaires. You know what I mean? So I can see that being the case. It's unfortunate, but I can see that being the case. Like this was a just a bad relationship. This was a very toxic relationship because she stayed there for 10 years. And I'm not, don't get me wrong, I am not blaming anything on Cassie. I'm glad she got away. I'm glad she found someone else to treat her the way she's supposed to be treated. And she's moved on with her life and has two beautiful children. I am happy for her. She didn't need to be with him. However, that was the relationship that they had. And I tend to think that that's what it was. Just got, it was rug, it was infused. And that's never a good combination, especially when you got a mental case that you're dating. Because he clearly is out to lunch. I kind of feel like it's a little bit of both. Like he was overzealous about doing FOs. I mean, to the point where, I mean, he was getting ridiculous with it. Like he was addicted to it and he just went manic with it. And at the same token, it was their relationship, but it was weird. Kim did the same thing. He did the same. According to Gene Deal, he had the same type of relationship with Kim. She didn't leave. She had three babies by him. That was the type of man he is when he loves. I'm assuming he loves hard. It's just a toxic love. I don't want that type of love. Most people don't, but I'm just thinking about it. Now, wrong is wrong, okay? And if it got to the point where he was treating anybody like that, then yeah, he need to be you know, taking it back a peg. But I really feel like that was their relationship. And I don't know. I don't know. I'm starting to believe the lawyer. I don't want to, but I'm starting to. He was just good. He was just getting out of hand with the FOs though. I would have been like this. Look, I'm not doing them no more. And if that means me and you not gonna be together, then we're not gonna be together. And that's what happened at the end. She left. She went on with her new man. And he didn't, I mean, I guess he followed behind her for a minute, but she realized that's not what she did. They wasn't there. They weren't on the same page no more. Then he went and got with Carisha. Was it Carisha after her? Oh no, it was Gina. I don't know who he was with, but he treated them all the same way. Gina loved him. Gina wanted to have a baby by him. Granted that she was being passed around or whatever, but they equate different things with love. I mean, these women. I mean, I'm sure he treats that he lures them in and gives them what they want and shows them the lifestyle, and then he turns into whoever this other person is. Probably initially, it's like okay, I can get down with that, but then he gets to the point where it's just too much. He goes overboard. I can see that. Carisha still, as of like less than a month ago, when she came out talking about that wasn't my experience. I don't know if I believe that, but she said that wasn't my experience. He just protected me. He was this, he was that. She adored him. You could tell. She holding up big signs at the Grammy show. He ain't mentioned her not one time. She got go poppy. He does something to them. I don't have him being a really bad guy when it comes to his children and the one that supposedly is in his life. It's just that he goes overboard. Now, granted, he does have a bad temper. We know that he has a bad temper and he does a lot of crud ball stuff. That's his other side. And maybe that needs to be put in check. That's why he's sitting where he's sitting. I agree with that. Maybe he needs to hone in on that. Everything happens for a reason. I pray that he is strong enough to withstand what he's going through and come out a new man on the other side. That's what I pray for. It's unfortunate that you have to go through these types of changes and things, but some people, like I said, don't, they have to learn the hard way. But anyway, the judge basically ultimately said that the government or the prosecution pretty much was the ones that, proved their side. So she wasn't going to release him. But at his lawyer basically, I mean, and I think the courtroom kind of chuckled a little bit because the lawyer was just grasping, he was reaching for everything, right? He was like, he listens to sermons every day. And I believe he does listen to sermons. I don't know about every day, but I do know that it was out there that he does listen to TD Jakes. I get that. He probably does. I think somebody said when he's on the treadmill, I think it was Little Rod in his filing. I think it was mentioned that he listened to TD Jakes while he was on the treadmill and TV's up there or whatever. And I don't know how often that is, but I guess that's what he does. And then he said he was an altar boy at one time. And the judge looked at his lawyer and was like, that was 40 years ago. Are you trying to, how far back are we going with this? Like, what? But yeah, no, he was denied, so he's going to be detained. And then after as it went off, they were talking about trial conference. And I don't know what that exactly means, but I suspect that his counsel is going to ask for a speedy trial. So everything will be sped up. So it'll be like on a schedule. We're going to do this. 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 And I don't know. That could go either way. I don't know how. I don't know. That could go either way. It could work out in his favor. It may not. It could be, um, you'll see your fate sooner, basically, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't have him getting life for this. However, I do have him getting a little bit of time. I do. So hopefully he can be moved to a more pleasant jail if that's a thing. I know that they do have little plush jails. Like where's Mr. Christie? Where's he? Put him. I mean, that's supposed to be like a spa. I don't know what that means, but I, there are nicer kept ones. I'll put it that way. All of them, I don't want to be locked in nowhere. But there are nicer kept ones. Like the one Martha Stewart was in, I don't think was bad either. I think that was for white collar crimes. Is this considered white collar? I don't know. I don't know. But anywho, long story short, he was denied. He's still detained. He will not be going home, at least not anytime soon. So, one other thing, I don't want to sound male identified because I listened back to what I said earlier and I'm not male identified. At least I don't want to be. I'm just looking at from different points of view. Is this a boyfriend that never really got over his ex girlfriend? She's moved on with a man, a husband, and kids. And I think a part of his sick being misses her. And he didn't, and it felt like extortion when she came and said, I got a book deal, pay me. And maybe he thought that her husband was behind all this. I can see that happening. I'm just trying to look at it from all points. But at the same token, he was wrong. Don't get me wrong with that. He was wrong with the whole everything that we saw on the video in the hotel, her trying to get away, her going to the I mean, if she took his clothes, all he had to do was grab his clothes back. It was no need for him to do what he did. That was excessive. That was really excessive. And I just don't want anybody to get the wrong impression that I'm male identified because I don't feel like as though I am. But I happen to be thinking, I was listening to the lawyer and they're very adamant about this is a boyfriend girlfriend. But I don't think he treated her right. And I feel like there were a lot of witnesses that saw that he didn't treat her right. There were a lot of witnesses that saw that he has a problem and that he is addicted to FOs. I think that was what he was trying to keep hush hush. Like, I know I got a problem. I know I got a substance abuse problem. I know I didn't do right, but don't tell on me. It's not funny, but you know what I mean. I feel like that's where he is. Anyway, that's all I had to come back and say. Please like, share, subscribe. This is the Myrita Moment. This is my backup channel to the Myrita Minute. Please like, share, and subscribe. Everyone be blessed. Peace.